Hi, my name is Austin Becker, and I'm a full-time Google Ads manager. Today I'm going to walk you through setting up promotions for your Google shopping ads. So first of all, what are promotions? If you've seen these little special offer blue texts that appear at the bottom of certain shopping ads, that's a promotion. And it's a great way to offer a discount, or let's see what this one has, a coupon code for products in your store. So think of maybe a Christmas sale, a new product launch sale, or just a sale that's ongoing, like this one might be. So what I'll do is I'll jump back into my Merchant Center account. If you've never set up a promotion in your Merchant Center account before, you'll have to make sure to come into the Growth and then Manage Programs section, and then click Enable on the Promotions program. From there, head over to Marketing and then Promotions, and then you can either begin by adding a promotion with the blue plus button, one at a time, or you can click Promotions Feeds to upload a spreadsheet or an XML file of your promos. Now, before I get into either, I'll point out the difference between the two. The Promotions Builder, which is this blue plus button, in fact, let me open that up. So the Promotions Builder allows you to set up promos without a feed, but it does not allow you to have promos reviewed ahead of your sale. You have to wait until the day of your sale begins for the promo to be reviewed. So if you're planning a critical holiday sale like for Christmas or Black Friday, you shouldn't use this method because it's not at all uncommon that your promo will be disapproved by Google. And by the time you fix it and resubmit it, it'll be too late. So like a one-day sale like Black Friday, this can give you an error, and then you'd have to resubmit it, as in you can get an error once the promo goes live, and then you'd have to resubmit it. Okay, so that's the downside of using the promo builder. If you use the promotions feed, which I just clicked into here, that's this method. It's just like uploading a product feed. If you use this method, you can set a review date in which Google reps can check the promo before it goes live. And then in doing so, you can make sure that your promo will be approved ahead of time. Although people won't be able to see the special offer before the actual promo date, Google can still approve it. So I'll explain that more later, but either option is suitable for different situations, and the easiest way to start is just with the promo builder, and so that's what I'll start with right here. So I'll just click on the plus button, select your country, your language, and then this is going to show in the shopping ad, so whoops, just keep that ticked. And then from here, you'll add the type of promo. Now I've got to pause again to jump into some documentation that Google provides on promos. Annoyingly, Google has 4 complete articles on setting up promos, so you'll have to check all these out. I'll link to each one in the notes below, but be sure to review these. I'm not going to review all of the policies and best practices here, but it's important to know that, 1, promos can't be overly restrictive, meaning you can't offer these to first-time buyers. It has to be a promo that's available to anyone, anytime, meaning if someone's already purchased on your store, they need to be able to use the promo that you're including in your ads, even after they've used it once. So here's some examples. So this is restrictive, this top one that I'm highlighting, because it's only applicable to teachers and students, likewise with seniors and military personnel, and again with something requiring the user to say like your page on Facebook. So that's the biggest hurdle that people run into with their promos. It has to be applicable, or I should say usable, to everybody who visits your store. So there's more details here under promotions policies. There's even more under the participation criteria and policies section. So this one I'll reference as I'm working, but I won't read through all these. I'll leave this to you to read through. But just to put it simply, here are a couple types of promos that you can use. So getting a couple dollars off for spending a certain amount on the store, or you can get a free item or offer free shipping, or a BOGO deal where the user buys one of something to get something for free or with a certain percentage off. Those are some promo types that are allowed. Be sure to check these that I'm not going to go into right now, the types that are not allowed. All right, then the fourth article. These are things, the editorial requirements. This comes up when we're writing out the promo, which we'll see later. Check this if you get promos disapproved. This will probably explain why. So I'll leave that to you to read through also. And then the feed specifications, I'll reference this later. This is what we need to make sure that our uploaded feed adheres to. I'm going to start by doing the promotion builder. So I'm going to just, for example, I'm going to offer an amount off. So let's say I'll offer, let's see, $15 off. Oh, this is a good time to jump back to the policies. I can't offer, for example, $1 off. I need to offer more. So what is this? Promotions need to add value is the policy. Yeah, promotions need to add value. So in this case, offering less than $5 off, that doesn't add value or enough value in Google's perspective. So I'm going to make this 15 off, which is more than 5. And I'm going to say this is off of a $75 purchase. I'll go to continue. And then I'll add a promo code here. So let's just call it save 15. And then whoops, I skipped some. So this is where the editorial requirements come in, is the promotion title. So again, that's this documentation. And in fact, let me just grab a example from here. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this example. This way, if you're copying one of the Google examples, you know you can't go wrong with the editorial policies. So I'm going to put that in here. And my promo was $15 off, so I'll state that correctly. And then the promotion ID, this can be whatever you want. Right now, it is August of 2021, so I'm going to call this 15 off August 2021. That's just a way for me to keep track of this. But it really could be anything. I could just make it 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. So that's the promotion ID. I want this to apply to all products. If I wanted it to apply to just certain products, I could make a filter by the item ID, or I could choose things like the brand or the item group ID or the product type. When you're typing these in, it has to exactly match the feed. So the product type is a field in the feed. And for example, it could be t-shirts. This has to exactly match the feed. So if the feed has a product type that's T-shirts, it needs to match that. Same thing with the item ID. If the item ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it needs to be exactly that. There can't be a space or a dash or anything. Keep it simple. I'm just going to choose all products, and then products with a promotion ID. I won't get into that right now. That's a little bit more complicated. So I'll get into that next. So I'm just going to do choose all products, then I'll choose a date range. And let's say it's from the 18th to the 25th. I'll click apply. I want to make sure the start and end time matches the start and end time for my store. So typically if I were to set up a promo on Shopify, I would have it start first thing in the morning and then as the day end as the day ended. So I'll just leave that like that. All right, from here I would click create promotion. Now I had to wait about 2 or 3 minutes for this promotion to show up, but this is what I had just made, and I can see that it's got everything that I had entered. And of course it's disapproved, but that's because this Merchant Center account that I'm using as an example has been suspended. So yours hopefully won't get disapproved immediately like mine did, but this is just for the sake of example. Okay, so that's how you use the promotions builder. You can keep adding more and more and more using the promotions builder. But if you're adding a lot of promotions, then I'd recommend using the promotions feed. So let's do that next. So the promotions feed, I'll click up in the top right there. And then here's a feed that I already made. I'm just going to delete it. And I'll hit plus to add a new one. Select my country, hit continue. Google. I'm going to use Google Sheets as my first example. So promo feed. And then I'll just leave this ticked, and then I'll hit continue. And then I'll OAuth in. Okay. So I'm going to click generate a new Google spreadsheet from a template. This is really convenient that Google just sets you straight up with a whoops, with a template. Don't know why that happened, but I have the template here anyway. So here's the promotion template in Google Sheets. So you can see, just like we did before in the promo builder, I've got all the same fields. I have a promotion ID, applicability. So I did all products before. And then the title, which has to adhere to the editorial standards. So be careful about that. Then a really crazy date. And notice there's two. This is the effective date, and this is the display date. So recall when I mentioned that using the promo builder doesn't allow you to submit your promo ahead of time in advance of the promotion date. That's what the display and the effective date are for here in the promo feed. So how does this work? The display date, these are the dates that, and you can see a little explanation here when you highlight it, but the display dates are the dates that the promo is actually live. So let's say my promo is alive from July 15th to the 16th. Then I would come in here and I would change this. Let's make it 21. I'm going to make it July. July, what did I say? The 15th through the 16th. So this is July 16. And then the time of day is what this is. And then the UTC time code is what that is. Okay, so this is confusing. I'll jump into that again after explaining what the effective date is. So the effective date, this is when it's active. So the promotion is active, as in you have a live promo code on your site. You might not be actively telling people about the promo code, but it's live on the site so that Google can check the promo code to verify that it works. So why would you have two dates like this? Well, like I said before, if you have a promo that's just lasting 1 or 2 days, it realizes that it needs to be reviewed by Google and approved by Google. And let's say your promo, for example, starts on July 15th, and the promo goes live on July 15th at 1 a.m. in the morning, but Google reviews it and disapproves it at 2 a.m. in the morning because there was some problem with the editorial standards, or maybe the promo code didn't work when Google checked it. So then your promo is disapproved. So you'll come to work at, say, 8 or 9 in the morning, see that the promo didn't actually start running because it was disapproved. Then you'll have to resubmit it to run just ASAP, which won't work because you still have to wait for Google to review that. So anyway, long story short, you should use the promo effective date to basically preview the promo for Google so that they can check it out beforehand. So let's say in this example, I have a promo that's going to actually run from July 15th through July 16th. What I ought to do is tell Google that, hey, the promo is effective a few days early, check it out a few days early, and then that way, if there's something wrong, it can be disapproved well ahead of the 15th of July, and I can resubmit it after having corrected any issues that Google flags. So the effective date is, it's going to end the same time as the display date. Okay, whoops. Clean that up. Okay, in fact, let's make this simpler by getting rid of some of these. Okay, so there's my promo effective date, and there's my promo display date. Promo effective date starts on the 10th of July. That way Google and I get 5 days to review and then make any fixes to the promo should it be disapproved. And then once the date of the actual promo comes, then and only then will the little special offer blue text begin showing in my shopping ads. Okay, so that's how the effective and the display dates work. Now, I have to point out this wild date and time zone code. You can see in the little description here how this works. So it's formatted year, month, day. That's what we're looking at right here, followed by a T for the time of day. So in this case, the time of day, it's just midnight, or exactly the very beginning of this day. And following the time, we've got the -8. Okay, so what is that? That's the Greenwich Mean time zone. So you'll have to annoyingly convert your time zone to Greenwich Mean Time Zone and then enter the Greenwich Mean Time Zone here so that your promo starts at the right time of day. You wouldn't, for example, want to have your promo start accidentally 8 hours late because you're in GMT 0, or let's say 1, but you had put in the wrong time zone, say 8. Okay, so if my time zone's actually 1, but I had put in 8, well, now my promo has started 7 hours late. So important to check the time zone and add that as well. Okay, so there's those are the effective and display dates. A little complicated, but important to give Google a chance to review promos ahead of time. Okay, then the rest, online, they're all going to be online for the most part, so I just won't go into that. Then the rest you can figure out on your own what this refers to. If my promo is only live in the shopping ads, I can delete the free listings, or I can leave it in there as well. Okay, so that's the promos feed using Google Sheets. So what I would do now, I'm going to come in, put in the actual address. See how I just grabbed that address from here and dropped it here. You'll see, let's see. Let me do it a different way. That didn't work. Okay, so merchant promo sample feed. I can see the title right there. And then I don't have to add an upload schedule. We'll ignore that. Create feed. And then I guess I have to allow pop-ups. Let me do that again. Okay, there's the feed. So we're done. So I'm going to go back to the promotions. I'm going to click on all. And now, just like before, I'm going to have to wait a little bit for that promo from the feed to appear here. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that, I'll add a promo using the last method that I'm going to demonstrate today, which is to use a feed tool that I recommend, which is Datafeed Watch. And so what I'm going to do, whoops, I'm in the wrong place. I'm going to hit cancel, and then I'm going to hit promotions feed, hit the blue plus button here, and I'm going to hit continue. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a scheduled fetch, Datafeed Watch, promos, US. Scheduled fetch. This doesn't matter. You can name it whatever you want. Continue. Okay, now what I will ultimately have when I'm done making the promo feed in Datafeed Watch, I will have this. So this is a sample. Don't worry about the contents of it. But what I'll ultimately get is this address. And this is what I'm going to punch in here and here. So I'll do that right now. And this is all you need to know if you don't need to learn from me how to set up the promo feed in Datafeed Watch. If you do need to know how to set up the promo feed in Datafeed Watch, keep watching. I'll show that at the very end of this video. Okay, so there's my file name, and then there's the URL. Notice that the file name is this part that ends with .xml. That's the file name, whereas the URL is this entire thing, as you might guess. And then I'll just hit create feed, and there it is. I can see it there. All right, so that's how to create feeds using the promo builder and then also the promos feed. What I didn't go into today and what I won't go into is the upload method. This is, you would simply upload a spreadsheet, so say a CSV file on your computer that would just be identical to what we did with the Google Sheets. So I'm not covering that option because it's identical to using a Google Sheets spreadsheet. So if you want to stick around, now I will show you how to make the promos feed using Datafeed Watch, which is a preferred feed tool of mine. So to begin, I found my shop. Down here, I'll click on Google Promotions. This doesn't cost extra with Datafeed Watch. Google Promotions feeds are just a part of whatever Datafeed Watch plan you choose. So you don't have to pay extra for this, which is nice. United States. And if you use my link in the comments below to sign up for Datafeed Watch, you'll get an extended free trial, and I will get a little kickback. So that's how that works. So, okay, here's the promo builder. So check this out. It's just the same as what we've done before, but you just have to fill out everything within this user interface that Datafeed Watch provides. So I'm going to call this one sample promo feed. I'm going to have basically fill out everything as before. I'm going to click generic code, and I'm going to add a generic code right now down below. The generic redemption code would be what we had done before, which was save 15. So that's the code that a user would enter at checkout to claim the discount on their order. The lawn title is what we had done before. So save, let's see, save off a 75 plus order. And the effective date, oh man, I've got to fill out this again. That was, if you remember, that really funky date. So I'm actually going to use the Google Sheets promo date as a helper so that I don't have to type this out again, because I will certainly mess it up if I have to type this out by hand. So I'll just put that in there. So that was the effective date. Check just to be sure that's the effective date. Okay. Then I want the display date separately. I'm going to add the display date here. Now, you'll notice that this was optional. I didn't have to add that. So if I don't add a promotion display date here, then the promotion effective date becomes the display date. So in other words, you can ignore the display date. Just put in your date here, the date that the promo starts, and that'll be sufficient to add the date. However, I would always add a display and an effective date to the promo. That way Google gets, like I had shown you before, well, Google and you get from July 10th through July 15th to submit the promo, wait for it to be approved or disapproved, and then if it's disapproved, you have a couple days in which to fix it and re-upload it. Now, as an aside, if your promo does get disapproved in your feed, you can't just submit the same promo ID a second time with an updated date. So let's just say I realized that I messed up something. Maybe I had a misspelling here. And then Google on the 10th or the 11th of July, they disapprove this because there's a misspelling. So I'll come back in here and fix the spelling. And then if I were to go and resubmit this feed a second time, it'll get disapproved. But this time it'll be disapproved, or I should just say not used at all, because the promo ID is the same. Every time you submit a promo ID, it has to have a unique, every time you submit a promo, it has to have a unique ID. So let's just say this is round 2. So I made a mistake, I fixed it, I'm submitting this again. So I'll just call this promo ID -2 or something like -2. That way Google has a new promo ID. Okay, that was an aside. You just have to know that you can't submit the same promo ID twice if you're fixing a promo that had some error or was disapproved. Okay, so I've done everything I need to do, I think. Let me just check to make sure there's nothing else. Oh, I do need to. So I have to add money off amount. Remember, that was this field. Where were you? Oh, actually, I hadn't added it in here, so hopefully anybody who didn't watch the end of the video figures this out on their own. So I'm going to jump to I'm jumping to the promotions feed specification document because I need to find that discount amount. Let's see. Let me just search for it, amount. The off amount. Okay. So I'll add that, and here's the syntax. So I'll remember that. Okay, so for everybody who missed that before, this needed to go here, and it needed to be in this syntax. So just like that. In fact, let me type it in. I'll just copy paste it. So in this example, it was 15. So I'm going to take that and drop it in here. Okay, and let's see if I'm missing anything else. I don't need display dates. I've added that. I'm not doing percentage off, so I'll leave that. I'm not doing any of these. Oh, I am doing minimum purchase amount. So the minimum purchase amount was this. And I'm assuming it's the same syntax, but I can check. Minimum purchase amount. Yes, it's the same syntax. So 2 digits followed by a space followed by the currency code. In fact, let me just pretend that it can't have decimals. I don't have decimals right here, so I'm just going to remove those. Okay, then I'll hit save, and I'll be ready to go. Okay, so I saved all this, so now I'll go back to promotions, and then I had to refresh the page there. I need the URL of the output feed, so I'm just going to copy that. I clicked it and it opened it up in another page. I can see all my data here. I don't really have to check that because I already checked it. So at this point, I'll do what I did before, but I will just add a new feed in the promotions feed section. Just go name, scheduled fetch, file name, everything from there back, file URL. I don't need a password. I need to make sure that the time zone's correct for my time zone, and then I'll click create feed again. And there's my Datafeed watch product feed. All right, so there are all the ways to make a promo in Google Merchant Center. You'll find that they often get disapproved, so don't lose hope. You'll just have to continue updating the promo until you get it right. And in summary, my recommendation is to use a feed because you can use an effective and a display date, using the effective date as a date, an early date in which Google can review your feed and then approve or disapprove it. And that way you have time before the actual promotion begins in which you can fix the promo if there's a problem. All right, that's how you set up promos in your Google Merchant Center account. And if it seems time-consuming and tedious, that's because it is. And so my recommendation to you is to carefully read Google's editorial policies, the documentation, etc. that I've linked to in the bottom of, or in the notes below. That way, once you set up promotions and take time filling out all those little fields, that you'll get it right the first time and you won't have to go back and forth with Google as frequently resubmitting disapproved promos. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And thank you for watching. Good luck.